Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Let's Play Skyrim. You'll recall that last time we cleared out Faldar's Tooth, closed a few exploration loops on the roads, made our way to Heartwood Mill, which I have yet to properly explore, or do favors and accept quests, but I need to offload first. Heartwood Mill is, I believe, unique among the lumber mills in Skyrim in that it does not have a wood chopping block, which is kind of crazy, I know. Anyway, let's head to Whiterun, do an offload. Offloads are much simpler now that I'm not collecting vendor trash and I have no need to dump it. Of course, we do still have to manage to load the city. Sometimes that can be tough. But you can tell it's working when you at least get the music track. It's always a good sign. Alright, here we go. Do I have any smelting to do right now? I don't know. Can you load the smelter animation? Eventually, the answer's always yes. Good. Alright. I can go ahead and make a silver ingot. If I want to make the steel I need, I'm going to have to go get some corn no more. And that's fine. Should be carrying all the enchanting materials I need. So let's just drop off ingredients. Nothing in the way of vendor trash, or at least there shouldn't be. Smithing supplies. Oh no, a basket! I don't even know how I got that, but that's alright. Got all this. I got 16 iron veins. That's pretty cool.
This house of yours is one. The gold is flowing nicely. Here's your half of the profits, my dear.
I remember saying that the enchanted ebony bow and enchanted ebony armor were better than what I had. I think that's probably still certainly true. So it turns out I do have some vendor trash anyway. The old armor, the old bow, and I thought I had upped my, regular glass boots I'm going to keep over those scaled boots. That was wrong. Glass gauntlets, however, are better than scaled bracers. So we got that too. Alright. Now let's put away that stupid basket. Along with this other stuff. Namely, that and that. Everything else is properly kept here, which is good. Let's go upstairs. Take out 16 of these corndamores. 23 minus 16 is 7. So when I'm done smelting, I will only need 7 more steel ingots. That is cool. Now, oh yeah, I need to put away the Amulet of Akatosh, too. Those have become so few and far between, I almost forgot about it, but there it is. Move aside, please.
I'll be here if you need me, love.
Let's check the kid's chest. Still empty. That actually surprises me a little, but I guess it's alright. Alright, let's smelt up those steel ingots. So we only need 7 more.
You're someone who can get things done. I like that.
And let's run up to Dragon's Reach and do a little enchanting.
Come to chat with an old woman? Do your good deed.
And before I forget, let's hit the wood chopping block to get some firewood for Grosta. This frame rate is slow as molasses. It kind of has me worried.
They say if a vampire so much as scratches you, you'll turn into one.
What's going on, computer? I don't like this. I'm nervous enough I'm gonna try to avoid quick saves at least. Oh, that's better.
Trouble?
Not really, no. Although I have to admit, I don't think I've checked their pockets since it was confirmed Dragon's Reach did respawn. Maybe I should.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
No need for an Amulet of Kinnereth, but it proves they have respawned, so I should be checking. That's good. Anyway,
Fine smile on you, friend.
let's do a little enchanting. Iron Dagger, Banish,
Come to Dragon's Reach to discuss
with our Lesser Soul.
growing hostilities, like the rest.
92 enchanting. 8 ranks to go. And then we'll muffle 3 pairs of boots with our 3 petty souls. It almost seems to take longer the closer you get to it. 8 ranks. We can do it. If the timing matches up with my last big practice run, we won't find many more soul gems until we do Enselvund. We'll find several in there, and then after that, when I finally hit 100, in the practice run at least, was when I cleared out Darklight Tower. Two more big dungeons with a healthy amount of soul gems should be enough. Assuming we keep finding trickle-ins here and there and we're diligent about using them. Everything I just enchanted still goes in vendor trash, so I haven't stopped adding to it. But with these little additions in particular, I suspect we should have more than enough
Love come to visit.
to boost speech to 100 when I'm ready. Anyway, the 16 steel ingots go in here. And we head back to Heartwood Mill. Where it may well be nighttime again, but One hopes it won't. Well, there's the kid. We can at least talk to him. Or not. Grawl knock. And the door's locked. Go figure. Well, that's alright. Guess we'll just wait the 6 hours until I suspect they're supposed to come outside, or at least unlock their door. Here's Gralnock.
I hope you're not here to start some trouble. I'll fight you if I have to. My mother taught me the millwork trade. You know, which trees to cut and which ones to pass up.
I want to know what dialogue I missed just then. So, I'll pull that up on my laptop.
My mother taught me the millwork Someday, I'll take over the mill. Which trees to cut and which ones to pass up. I'm not afraid of anyone. Put a sword in my hand and I could defend this place if I had to. Millwork sure is boring, but at least I don't have to work in a nasty mine.
His first line is just, "It's just me and my mother at the mill here. My father is gone. We don't know what happened to him."
Yes?
Alright. It's unlocked, so let's go inside.
I trust you're not planning any travel. What can I do for you, friend?
Grosta does not have a key to the mill, so I'll just take her gold and
Keep your
talk to
hands
her.
straight. Here for work? Get an axe and bring me all the wood you can chop. Huh. If you see my good-for-nothing husband Leifnar on your journeys, tell him he's no longer welcome here. Need something?
I have firewood to sell.
Honest gold for honest work.
So there we've completed chop wood. Always. Trying to do everything. And she's got a miscellaneous quest for us too. Is running a mill difficult?
With just myself and one child, it's damn near impossible.
Excuse me.
With Leifnar gone, it's really put me in a terrible bind. I'm having trouble making ends meet. At this rate, we won't last more than a few more seasons at best. Then I'll just have to sell the old place.
What happened to Leifnar?
He said he was going east towards the border of Morrowind to trade some of our grain to some folks at Broken Helm Hollow. I waited and waited, and he never came back. Probably shacked up with some elven whore. Good riddance to him, I say. If I only knew where he was, I'd sure give him a piece of my mind.
I'll try and find him.
Good. If you see him, tell him Grosta said he could go straight to oblivion. He's not welcome here anymore.
Find Leifnar. Why did Leifnar go to Broken Helm Hollow?
Well, he said that a few men have been going by to some of the local farms, promising a good price from all the local mills and farms. Leifnar said they pay double what you can usually get at the markets. The catch was, he had to head out there with our wood. So not only is Leifnar gone, but a good bit of our supplies as well.
Uh-huh.
Remember to tell that bastard I never want to see his ugly face again.
Well, that's harsh. Anyway, we'll mark find Leifnar. Of course. We'll just take the useful stuff, even though everything's free to take. The, shoot, now I forgot. That quest is called Flight or Fight in the Creation Kit, in case you're wondering. Chest is empty, we've read that book. And that's it for Heartwood Mill, at least for now. We will, of course, come back to turn in the quest when we're ready. Let's head back to the Thieves Guild now, before we head off and do some more exploring. Brynjolf's waiting for us right here to turn in the quest. Pretty good.
Word on the street is Golden Glow's been hit. Good job, lad.
Yes, and here's what was in the safe.
Let me take a look at what you found. Arengoth sold Golden Glow? What's that idiot thinking? He has no idea the extent of Maven's fury when she's been cut out of a deal. But I'm certain he'll find out. If only the parchment had the buyer's name instead of this odd symbol. Any idea what that might be?
No idea.
Blast. Well, I'll check my sources and speak to Mercer. But for now, you're off to speak to Maven Black-Briar. She asked for you by name.
I thought I did the job like you asked.
No, nothing like that. You're calling on her for business.
What does Maven want from me?
That's between you and Maven, and I prefer to keep it that way. Don't worry about it. Maven's business dealings usually involve quite a bit of gold for her people.
Speaking of which...
Of course, your pay. You're smart as a whip, lad. Keep doing right by us, and there's plenty more where that came from.
Completed. Loud and clear. That's off the list. Started. Dampened spirits. Speak to Maven Black-Briar.
Until next we meet, lad.
I will point out, too, that this stuff behind Mercer's desk starts showing up as you do side jobs. That jeweled candlestick, I think, shows up after you do 5. Well, it must be, because I haven't even done 10 yet. So, loud and clear. I've completed my task at Golden Glow Estate and discovered the owner's sudden lack of cooperation with the guild was leveraged by an anonymous buyer of that very same location. Why this buyer purchased Golden Glow and is showing animosity towards the guild is a mystery for the moment. Dampened spirits. I've been sent to speak to Maven Black-Briar, head of the wealthiest, most influential family in Riften. According to Brynjolf, she has a job of utmost importance for me, and I need to follow her directions to the letter.
Don't you have better things to do than disturb me?
Well, sure. Mercer's such a douche canoe. Anyway... Before we leave, head back to the Ragged Flagon. You can do 7 instances of the Litany of Larceny, selling unique bits to Delvin. So we're going to do the first one right now.
So, what can I do for you today?
Can I sell this Queen Bee statue to you?
Well, I was looking for this little beauty. If you happen across any other unusual trinkets like this, be sure to bring them to me. I promise it'll be worth the effort. There you go. This should cover it.
Queen Bee statue removed. Completed. Return the Queen Bee statue to Delvin. 700 more gold.
No killing or no pay.
When I hear rumors about you.
That's all they are. Rumors. So quit worrying.
And then... So in addition to that jeweled candlestick, now the Queen Bee statue also has a spot behind Mercer's desk.
I'm quite busy.
I don't think it's any big spoiler to say it's eventually our desk, so I'm happy to leave the stuff there. Anyway, let's go chat with Maven before we leave town again. When this quest is active, her typical schedule is overridden and she's always inside the Bee and Barb. I should note that if you don't already have 2 kids, pretty soon a courier will show up with a note called Consider Adoption. Just authored by Constance Michel, letting everyone know that the kids are up for adoption again at the orphanage. Doesn't apply to us, of course. Anyway, Maven's upstairs. I like to sit across from her.
So you're the one. You don't look so impressive.
How about we skip the conversation?
You're a firebrand, aren't you? It's about time Brynjolf sent me someone with business sense. I was beginning to think he was running some sort of beggars guild over there.
You have no faith in the guild?
Faith? I don't have faith in anyone. All I care about is cause and effect. Did the job get done, and was it done correctly? There's no gray area.
Where do I begin?
Head to the Bannered Mare in Whiterun and look for Malus Marcius. He'll fill you in on all the details.
Completed. Speak to Maven Black-Briar. Speak to Malus Marcius. How did you become allied with the Thieves Guild?
The Black-Briar family has always been allied with the Guild. Our connections with the Empire and within Skyrim make for a perfect fit. I dare say the Guild owes its survival as much to my family as it does to its own people.
Who runs the show at Honningbrew Meadery?
Some layabout named Sabiorn. Been a thorn in my side for the last few years now.
Alright.
One more time, in case I wasn't clear. You butcher this job, and you will be sorry.
Good to know. Alright. We're ready to leave again. We'll just head out the north gate. So we're exploring pretty close to Riften for the moment. We'll do Dampened Spirits pretty soon, but we're going to do a little exploration first. Maven Black-Briar has sent me to Whiterun, where I am to meet with someone named Malus Marcius. Together our goal is to bring down one of Maven's competitors, Honningbrew Meadery, and discover where he obtained the financing to take her on.
Ain't no doubt about it. Thieves Guild is back, and they've got Riften in their grip.
It's fucking right. You best recognize. Definitely at least can do hard saves when I'm outside. I don't trust the memory issues that lead to the quick save crash, so... Anyway, get down past the watchtowers. Back to where we went to that Shrine of Zenithar the first time. I believe I pointed out this path splitting off the main road. Let's go this way first. We're about to have us a cave bear. Or 3. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the path splits in 2 here. North Fork is later. We're taking this East Fork. But first, of course, we gotta worry about the bears. However, if you point yourself straight, almost through the fork, and run right up to the rocks, we can find a corundum vein. Pretty easy, right here. Nothing fancy, as you can see. I gotta admit, I'm a little worried that 3 cave bears just constantly gnawing on her might actually be able to do something to Lydia. Oh, now it's down to 2. And 1. And done. No need to be worried, I suppose. More than acquitted herself. Nicely done. So let's just follow along this path for now. Now what is this? Oh shit, it's a vampire. I know what this is! I was a little off-put by a vampire during the day, but this is kind of a fun one. This is desperate vampire seeking shelter from the sun. I wonder if we can actually talk to her. I don't know, but I'll find out.
Speak.
Uh-huh. Now what's this? Looks like it may just be Imperial soldiers on the road.
Your kind has no place here.
Good lord. Very nice. Gold, lockpick, vampire dust. I'm actually not... I've never quite been clear what the difference is between an Imperial Scout Patrol, well, or a Stormcloak Scout Patrol for that matter, and Imperials on the road, but that's obviously Imperials on the road. They're just marching down a path. So that one's off the list too. I hadn't found it yet. Very nice. Cool, cool. Always got to be alert to random encounters. There are just so many, and it is important to me to eventually clear them all off the list. So if we just follow this path all the way to where it ends, we're going to discover Fallowstone Cave. I do want to discover it, but I'm not going to explore it until later. We can't even fully explore it yet. We get routed here for a Daedric quest later, and it's not like it's worth looking at beforehand. What I will do... I don't even really need to worry about summoning my horse anymore. Since I'm not vendor trashing, I don't really concern myself with getting over encumbered, because it doesn't happen. Anyway, we have discovered Fallowstone Cave, which is good. Now I want to turn north of it a bit. Just hug the rock wall on the right, that's easiest. You can find 2 ore veins up here, orichalcum and silver.
Take this and hold on to it.
Jesus Christ, Lydia.
I'll pay you good. Don't lose it.
Slow down, explain yourself.
No time to talk. Snitch or double-cross me and I'll kill you. I mean it.
Well, we've seen this one before. Hey, you there, take this. Okay, there's our silver vein. What did he even give me? I missed it. An iron warhammer of dismay. Absolutely useless, so when the pursuer shows up, I'll just give it to him. For the 1 gold. If the pursuer shows up. Yeah, there he is. He's got a frostbite spider after him, though.
Did you see someone run past just now?
I presume this iron warhammer of dismay belongs to you?
Yes. How did you get this? Never mind. Here. It's not much, but it's something. I'm going to track down that thief and murder him. I love a challenge.
And he gives us our single gold piece. I am concerned with that spider. We're just getting inundated with random encounters out here. I'd always prefer one I hadn't already seen, but it's alright. I was going to say, Lydia, is there a reason you're trying to kill that fugitive? I say that's between the two of them. What I do want to do, though, is up past these ore veins, before we were so rudely interrupted. You can just make your way up here. Actually, there's a more functional sort of path over here. I'm looking for a skill book that I have not read yet. If I get into the snow, I've definitely gone too far. So let's backtrack a little. It's just leaning against a tree. I remember it, but I can't remember the exact spot. There's the vampire we killed. Which tree is it? It's a tree off to the north of Fallowstone Cave, I know that much. Oh, there it is, right by the ore veins. Incident at Necrom. Illusion increased to 24. So that is the 4th illusion skill book. We still have 1 left to find. And for free boosts to illusion, there are 3 remaining. 1 skill book and 2 quests. Alright, let's read the book. Incident in Necrom by Jonquilla Botha. The situation simply is this, said Flaxith, his face as chiseled and resolute as any statue. Everyone knows that the cemetery west of the city is haunted by some malevolent beings, and has been for many years now. The people have come to accept it. They bury their dead by daylight, and are away before Master and Secunda have risen and the evil comes forth. The only victims to fall prey to the devils within are the very stupid and the outsiders. It sounds like a natural solution to filtering out the undesirables, then, laughed Nitra, a tall, middle-aged woman with cold eyes and thin lips. Where's the gold in saving them? From the temple. They're reopening a new monastery near the cemetery, and they need the land cleansed of evil. They're offering a fortune, so I accepted the assignment with the caveat that I could assemble my own team to split the reward. That's why I've sought you each out. From what I've heard, you, Nitra, are the best bladesman in Morrowind. Nitra smiled her unpleasant best. And you, Osmic, are a renowned burglar, though never once imprisoned. The bald-pated young man stammered as if to refute the charges before grinning back. I'll get you in where you need to go, but then it's up to you to do what you need to do. I'm no combatter. Anything Nitra and I can't handle, I'm sure Masitha will prove her mettle, Flaxith said, turning to the 4th member of the party. She comes on very good references as a sorceress of great power and skill. Masitha was the picture of innocence, round-faced and wide-eyed. Nitra and Osmic looked at her uncertainly, particularly watching her fearful expressions as Flaxith described the nature of the creatures haunting the cemetery. It was obvious she had never faced any adversary other than man and Myr before. If she survived, they thought to themselves, it would be very surprising. As the foursome trudged toward the graveyard at dusk, they took the opportunity to quiz their new teammate. Vampires are filthy creatures, said Nitra. Disease-ridden, you know. They say off to the west they'll indiscriminately pass on their curse, together with a number of other afflictions. They don't do that here so much, but still you don't want to leave their wounds untreated. I take it you know something of the spells of restoration if one of us gets bit? I know a little, but I'm no healer, said Masitha meekly. More of a battle mage? Asked Osmic. I can do a little damage if I'm really close, but I'm not very good at that either. I'm more of an illusionist, technically. Nitra and Osmic looked at one another with naked concern as they reached the gates of the graveyard. There were moving shadows, stray specters among the wrack and ruins, crumbled paths stacked on top of crumbled paths. It wasn't a maze of a place. It could have been any dilapidated graveyard, but even without looking at the tombstones, it did have one very noticeable feature. Filling the horizon was the mausoleum of a minor Cyrodiilic official from the Second Era, slightly exotic but still harmonizing with the Dunmer graves in a complementary style called Decay. It's a surprisingly useful school, whispered Masitha defensively. You see, it's all concerned with Magicka's ability to alter the perception of objects without changing their physical compositions. Removing sensual data, for example, to cast darkness or remove sound or smell from the air. It can help by... A red-haired vampire woman leapt out of the shadows in front of them, knocking Flaxith on his back. Nitra quickly unsheathed her sword, but Masitha was faster. With a wave of her hand, the creature stopped, frozen, her jaws scant inches from Flaxith's throat. Flaxith pulled out his own blade and finished her off. That's illusion? Asked Osmic. Certainly, smiled Masitha. Nothing changed in the vampire's form except its ability to move. Like I said, it's a very useful school. The four climbed up over the paths to the front gateway to the crypt. Osmic snapped the lock and disassembled the poison trap. The sorceress cast a wave of light down the dust-choked corridors, banishing the shadows and drawing the inhabitants out. Almost immediately they were set upon by a pair of vampires, howling and screaming in a frenzy of bloodlust. The battle was joined, so no sooner were the first two vampires felled than their reinforcements attacked. They were mighty warriors of uncanny strength and endurance, but Masitha's paralysis spell and the weaponry of Flaxith and Nitra clove through their ranks. Even Osmic aided the battle. They're crazy, gasped Masitha when the fight finally ended and she could catch her breath. Quara, the most savage of the vampire bloodline, said Flaxith. We have to find and exterminate each and every one. Delving into the crypts, the group hounded out more of the creatures. Though they varied in appearance, each seemed to rely on their strength and claws for attacking, and subtlety did not seem to be the style of any. And the entire mausoleum had been searched, and every creature within destroyed. The four finally made their way to the surface. It was only an hour until sunrise. There was no frenzied scream or howl. Nothing rushed forward towards them. The final attack, when it happened, was so unlike the others that the questers were taken utterly by surprise. The ancient creature waited until the four were almost out of the cemetery, talking amiably, making plans for spending their share of the reward. He judged carefully who would be the greatest threat, and then launched himself at the sorceress. Had Flaxith not turned his attention back from the gate, she would have been ripped to shreds before she had a chance to scream. The vampire knocked Masitha across a stone, its claws raking across her back, but stopped its assault in order to block a blow from Flaxith's sword. It accomplished this maneuver in its own brutal way by tearing the warrior's arm from its socket. Osmic and Nitra set on it, but they found themselves in a losing battle. Only when Masitha had pulled herself back up from behind the pile of rocks, weak and bleeding, that the fight turned. She cast a magical ball of flame at the creature, which so enraged it that it turned back to her. Nitra saw her opening and took it, beheading the vampire with a stroke of her sword. So you do know some spells of destruction, like you said Nitra. And a few spells of healing, too, she said weakly. But I can't save Flaxith. The warrior died in the bloodied dust before them. The three were quiet as they traveled across the dawn-lit countryside back toward Necrom. Masitha felt the throb of pain on her back intensify as they walked, and then a gradual numbness like ice spread through her body. I need to go to a healer and see if I've been diseased, she said as they reached the city. Meet us at the Moth and Fire tomorrow morning, said Nitra. We'll go to the temple and get our reward and split it there. 3 hours later, Osmic and Nitra sat in their room at the tavern, happily counting and recounting the gold marks. Split 3 ways, it was a very comfortable sum. What if the healers can't do anything for Masitha, smiled Osmic dreamily. Some diseases can be insidious. "Did you hear something in the hall?" asked Nitra quickly, but when she looked, there was no one there. She returned, shutting the door behind her. "I'm sure Miss Sitha will survive if she went straight to the healer, but we could leave tonight with the gold." "Let's have one last drink to our poor sorceress," said Osmic, leading Nitra out of the room toward the stairs down. Nitra laughed. "Those spells of illusion won't help her track us down, as useful as she keeps saying they are. Paralysis, light, silence, not so good when you don't know where to look." They closed the door behind them. "Invisibility is another spell of illusion," said Masitha's disembodied voice. The gold on the table rose in the air and vanished from sight as she slipped it into her purse. The door again opened and closed, and all was silent until Osmic and Nitra returned a few minutes later. So there you go. Now, the next thing I want to do is that mine you can see, the Lost Prospect mine, is where I'm headed next. There's not really a path to it. It's just out here in the wilderness. So, one thing I do want to do, though, is point out that, and maybe I might have made a mistake in calculating how best to get there. There's an orichalcum vein between Fallowstone Cave and the mine that I, of course, would like to get. So if we start right at Fallowstone... Oh, there's some flowers up here I should probably be getting anyway. And then if I head almost due south and just a little bit west, I should find it in a rock cluster. Right around here, if I remember right. Sure enough, there it is. Perfect. All right. So here is the Lost Prospect mine. Let's discover it and head inside. Should hardly be carrying anything. All that weight is from 3 bear pelts. I'd almost forgotten already. Lost Prospect mine discovered. We'll take it off the list and we'll head inside. Checking around for useful stuff as always. As always. Got a little under 20 minutes to go, which is fine. Give me time to do a couple of things I want to do. Can just nick that blister wart. See no way to... Oh! Just gotta find the sweet spot. We start in this main room of sorts. I'll clear it out first. Nothing in here but mushrooms. And a few sacks, which may, if we're lucky, have salt in them. You'll notice there are 3 exits. But let's check the table first, where there's a miner's journal that I'll read and take off the list. Miner's journal. 3rd of Hearthfire, 4th era 200. You know, just when you think you've hit bottom, sometimes the Aedra throw you a rope. Since the rebels took over the mines in these parts, I haven't been able to find work anywhere, and along comes Burn, my old partner, with a deed to some old gold mine out in the hills. It's been too long since we did a job together. What, 4 years now? Nice to finally work with someone who knows the business. Sounds like the place was a steal, too. 22nd of Hearthfire, 4th era 200. No one sells a mine for a song. I figured the place would be in bad shape, but not this bad. Barely a glorified cave. There may have been gold here once, but we don't even have a vein to start with. We struck out at random. 3 weeks digging the lower tunnel, but nothing to show for it yet. 15th of First Seed, 4th Era 201. Nothing. No gold, no gems, no ore, not even any useful stone. The rocks around here crumble the moment you stack one on another. I'm ready to toss it in, but Byrne wants to keep on going. Just a little farther, Hadrier. We're so close, Hadrier. Bah. Byrne wants me to head back to Riften for supplies next week. Might give me a chance to cool down. 29th of First Seed, 4th Era 201. So I come back and nothing. No sign of Byrne. It's like he just up and left. No blood, no struggle. He just ran out on me, I suppose. I've waited 3 days and he's not coming back. I'm going to head back to Riften and see if I can find him or find some other work there. No sense wasting any more time here. Byrne, if you find this, I expected better from you. So let's check the 3 tunnels now. Here's what I presume is the lower tunnel. Nothing down here but mushrooms. And we got another tunnel up here with more mushrooms, and if I remember right, there's actually a random or a leveled item stuck at the end of this one, which can be good, but in my case turns out to be a steel helmet, so not so much. Now we'll check the 3rd tunnel. A few more mushrooms. Glorified cave indeed. I don't want the pickaxe, but I do want the bleeding crown. Steel mace, not so much. I just want to search the sack behind everything. But we're not done. Whirlwind sprint over to the waterfall. And in addition to several more mushrooms, we find a 4th tunnel. Looks like I really can't get either of those. That's fine. If we go down to the end of this, we figure out what happened to Byrne. He found the gold. There are 3 gold veins back here. But he perished in a rock slide. So, his partner was right to think better of him. At least we know what happened to the poor fellow. Even if Hadrier never will. So mine the 3 gold veins. That's it for Lost Prospect Mine. We're ready to head out again. Just because I'm so into following main roads, our next target is Black-Briar Lodge, which is the main site of the Promises to Keep quest that we got from Louis Latruche. I could just head directly over the hill, but I prefer to follow a road when there is one, and it turns out there is. We just need strike out south and a little bit west. We'll get to that bandit tower we already cleared where there was a copy of King. I may have to fight the bandits again. I'd prefer not to. I'll try to avoid aggroing them. I think they'll leave me alone as long as I don't wander too close. So there's their tower. So you know we've already explored up to here. Yeah, they're a proximity trigger, not a sight trigger. That's good. So here's the main road that I was looking for. There we got some Imperials with a Stormcloak prisoner. We've only seen that one about 100 times. It looks like we got at least one wolf. Lydia's on it. Now, what are these other 2? Hostiles, I wonder. 2 more wolves. Figures. That's fine. There's 1, 2, 3. Good. Now we got this bridge rifting back that way. Well, okay. That's pretty straightforward. We should note, though, a couple of things. Number 1. Under the bridge, you could probably hear a Nirn root. This is the path up to Black-Briar Lodge. I'll take it in a moment. We want to get the Nirn root from under here. We want to head up to the bottom of this waterfall for a corundum vein. As well as, well, not so much the dead chicken, but at the very bottom of the waterfall there's a coin purse, some loose gold, and a dead Khajiit. None of that matters either. But in terms of our navigation here, we want to go just a little bit past this path. Note the cairn here showing us kind of another alt route up. That torch marks the way to Dayspring Canyon and Fort Dawnguard, which we'll also be doing soon enough. Our objective right now is kind of to clear out this southeast corner of the map, which includes making our first visit to Fort Dawnguard. But before we do that, let's head up this path just a little bit and then veer off to the right, because you can make your way up into the hills above the entrance to Dayspring Canyon. And there's a silver vein up here. Just a second, just got to tend to my documents. You'd expect a little more up here with a full path leading up, but all there is this silver vein. That's alright though. That's all the ore veins we're going to find at the moment. So, let's roll up to Black-Briar Lodge. Let me check on my time. Are you kidding? The game froze when I tried to open the Steam overlay. Just a moment. Well, I was able to unfreeze by loading my last save. It still won't let me check the Steam overlay, but I think I've got about 5 minutes left. So that's not really enough time to clear the Black-Briar Lodge, which is fine. I didn't really expect to. But I do need to regain that silver ore. I'll do that right quick. That is the last ore vein that we needed, by the way. Always finds new and inventive ways to fuck with you, doesn't it? Let's say you catch on to the quick save glitch. Oh ho! Now I'm gonna lock when you try to pull up the Steam overlay. Well, thanks, game. I appreciate it. I really do. Anyway, here's the Black-Briar Lodge discovered. You can see the hired mercenaries are proximity triggered, not sight triggered. That much is good. Anyway, we'll take Black-Briar Lodge off our discoverable locations list. And I do have some time, so I'll go ahead and start the party. You'll notice that despite the awesome armor they're wearing, these mercenaries run pretty weak. But they will run into the house and escape there, which is annoying as hell. Lydia?
What do you need?
Kindly attack the guy who's shooting at me. There you go. Alright, we bagged him. Ebony arrow, iron arrow, gold lodge key. Perfect. Anyway, that horse you saw running down there was Frost, the target of the quest, but we need to get his lineage papers from inside the lodge first, as you may recall. So, let's finish up the exterior at least. So there's the front door, there's a locked door to the basement, and you may, if you were paying attention, have noticed a little path over here. This can take us up and around to the north side of the lodge, where there's a third entrance as well as a watchtower to explore, and probably more mercenaries too. Although that I'm not sure of. They may all be congregating indoors. We'll find out. Anyway, not much to do here. Let's just check out the watchtower right quick.
Now ain't this a surprise?
Ah, what's up, bro?
That the best you can do?
Alright, see, this guy's more leveled, so... I'll let he and Lydia have words. Well, I check out the top level, which turns out to be empty. He says as he swings his hammer at her. Oh, good job, Lydia. Yeah, stand there with your shield raised while he makes his escape. Goodness gracious me. Well, I don't mind taking another copy of the lodge key. And since we're here, we might as well make this our entrance. Well, let's head inside. The lodge key will unlock every door, so we don't have to pick the expert lock to get into the basement or anything like that, but I am going to note that I believe it's been about an hour, including the hiccup, so I'm going to end the video right here. This has been Let's Play Skyrim. That was more productive than you think, I promised. Remember, we cleared out Heartwood Mill, we found Fallowstone Cave, we cleared out Lost Prospect Mine, and we made our way to Black-Briar Lodge, which is an actual quest site. Not to mention, we progressed the Thieves Guild line by turning in Loud and Clear and accepting Dampened Spirits. Anyway, next time, we're going to clear out the Black-Briar Lodge and complete Loud and Clear, and then we'll keep exploring this southeast corner of the map. Until then, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please, as always, consider clicking on an ad, liking, sharing, subscribing. These things really help me out. Even if you do none of the above, please know that I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Let's see if the quick save works. It does. Bye-bye.